Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawing for Model Railway. Today's episode is an announcement of the next project we're going to be working on, and that's the RM74 Ballast cleaner. I believe there was about 25 of these units produced, starting in 1978. I think they were introduced and run through to the early 2000s. Essentially, they're self-propelled units which would go along, clean and sort the ballast, removing any of the waste spoil and loading them into separate wagons. I have about 40 photos that we can use for this project. They come from a mixture of Paul Wade, Jon Hall, Ernie Puddick and Marcus Dawson, and obviously I've got to thank them for allowing us to use those photos in this series. It should be quite a long series, I would have thought, because it's quite a complex looking machine. And we're going to try our best to make it look as realistic as possible, but compromising on details where necessary to make a model that's actually printable and usable. So hopefully you'll enjoy this series and we'll find it quite an entertaining series to go through. The plans for the RM74 can be found on the barrymoremrg.co.uk website, looking on the prototype, and on-track machines working on 25 kV AC electrical lines. And then if we come down to page 43, that's got the line drawing on there for side elevation and end elevation that we can use. It's supposed to be a self-propelled unit, but generally they were only self-propelled within the working site. They were towed to from site within the departmental working trains. So I'm not going to be too concerned about motorising it because I'm not going to have a working site that they'll be used on. I don't think most people will either. So you're just going to be looking to have this as a normal towed unit that we can marshal in between our engineers' trains. Give us something nice and unique. And it's going to be a nice complex model for us to work through. So looking at the model and how we're going to break this down, there's going to be several different components we're going to look at. We're going to have obviously the cab at this end, and then we've got this like box unit behind it, which probably contains something like the engine or the electrical equipment. We've got the chassis which runs along, which is quite an interesting chassis because about halfway along it cuts in so this chute can go along. So we've got like a normal width chassis at one end and then a narrower towards the second end. We've got the chutes down the bottom here. These are on both sides of the unit. Same on the side here, this one up the top. I believe this is like a shaker deck to separate the mud from the ballast. And then we've got a couple of conveyor belts coming up the back here. Obviously we've got the handrails and stuff, the roof. This cab will be separated off. Again, it's quite a complex little shape in with that cab. It's cut in on both sides. It goes slightly into the chassis. Thickness of this chassis is different. We've got bogies to be drawn, and we've got the conveyor belt out the back here. I believe this folds up and over, or this one comes up from underneath, so that it can be used to load into wagons that are running behind it. And I believe the spoil comes out of these. These chutes here pull up the ballast, put it into the hopper, and then we can use these chutes, I think, to either lay the ballast down or place it to the side. Now, obviously, I might be wrong on some of these assumptions. I'm just looking based on the photographs, and some of the other photographs I've got that I can't share do show some idea of where things are moving to and from. So yeah, we've got quite a few components we're going to be breaking this down into, and a lot of these photos, like these ones from Jonathan, I really have to thank him for these because these are great detail shots all the way along. And they go into some areas like these bits down here look similar to what we've done on the DTS. Some of the photos come at all angles, which will be really useful for helping to draw these items. Again, like the DTS, a lot of the details will be missed out. Things like these cables, I'm not going to worry too much about doing things like that because they just won't print correctly. Similar with the chains here, they probably wouldn't print either, so there'd be no point doing them. But yeah, quite an interesting looking unit with plenty of different tools and techniques that need to be implemented to be able to produce it. Hopefully you can follow this series along, and I would like to see some pictures of what other people are producing. It'd be nice to see that, and yeah, it'd be good for the community to see how others are learning to show that it's not just something that you need to be a master at doing to be able to produce these items. You can learn how to CAD from zero experience, really. Thanks for watching this, and please like and subscribe to make sure you keep up with the series.